Okay, back again, Animoji Gaming. So I finally got my free time, even though there are still so many videos about Nintendo Switch footage that I have been creating Animoji before. So the first time I want to create is the games that basically Nintendo Switch exclusive, but for some reason it is also appear on other platforms such as the mobile version, but I'm not sure whether it is actually the same or not. So yeah, I decided to create this emoji. Besides, it is also not that long, so it's only around 23 minutes, and I basically will have a meeting in 30 minutes, so I still have around 5 minutes gap. So yeah, there are still so many videos, and it is also pretty long, especially when I just see which games that I still need to create the emojis, such as the Assassin's Creed 3, which is the other games that was included beside the Assassin's Creed Liberation. So it was actually 1 hour and 30 minutes as well, just like the Metal Gear Solid. But for some reason, Assassin's Creed 3 is a little bit more interesting since yeah, you can explore the ship while you moving from Europe to North America. And the other things that pretty long is also the Resident Evil Revelation 2. So I have tried to create the Revelation 1 and also already uploaded before, and it is not that long. So the Revelation 2 is basically longer because the Revelation 2 is also pretty scary because yeah, you are actually set in the asylum in the middle of the island of nowhere. So yeah, that's the reason why it is basically trying to set in very interesting places. So the revelations, yeah, I think it is also the one that no, it is actually the one that was in the middle of the mountain is actually the Revelation 1. So the Revelation 2 is both of them are basically in the asylum, but in with a different point of view. So yeah, the point of view which is basically many years later, which is very crazy because yeah, the parents of the one that was kidnapped into the asylum just noticed that he want to save his daughters after several years, so it is definitely already die for some reason. So the Giro Club Unlimited, I think, was developed by the same game studio that was developed the Test Drive Unlimited, even though it is basically not published by Atari. So that's the reason why there are different things that basically implemented in this game. So yeah, it's also not as good as Test Drive Unlimited for some reason because there are no open world feature in this game. So that's the reason why it's still pretty much like mobile games. Maybe because the size is also not that big, if I'm not mistaken. And even with the sequel, which is the Jira Club Unlimited 2, it is also not that difference. So they're still trying to keep with the basic mobile. I just don't get it. Maybe it's just easier to be developed, or maybe they just wanted to create the paid games for the Nintendo Switch, but that is not that expensive. But the mobile version, which is available on the Apple Arcade as well, in the different version, I guess. Quite forgot. So we're just 5 minutes running, and yeah, all we can do is just racing over and over again and try to utilize the money as good as possible, because yeah, for some reason there is no difficulty option. So obviously we definitely still need to do a performance upgrade, or at least car upgrades. I'm not sure. So there are around 9 games remaining, perhaps, I'm not sure. So after this, I'm not sure what games that I will try to create. Maybe I try to do the longest one first, which is the Assassin's Creed 3, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes, and I'm not sure which game that I will do. Maybe the second longest, perhaps the Assassin's Creed Revelation 2, and then after that I definitely already so exhausted and tired and just don't know what to do anymore. Just like yesterday that I basically already create Animoji for more than 3 hours, which is, yeah, that's the longest record that I have basically tried to do. But for some reason all of the games were Nintendo Switch games, so I didn't find any PlayStation 4 games beside the one that basically duplicated, because I used to fail moving the files from the Mac because I included the read-only files, which is pretty annoying, since if you try to move files that was included the read-only files, and then it will basically fail to move all of the files that was included in the folders. So that's the reason why I need to remove the read-only files and try to move all of the data again. And yeah, that makes me duplicate the files technically, even though I already tried to filter that, but for some reason there are so many video that was basically remains of those duplications. So I just don't get it why there is a feature, some sort of simulation in here where you can modify your garage. So yeah, they try to do some unique feature, but basically I don't really like it, to be honest, because it's pretty weird. It's like the combination of the Sims or car simulators, I'm not sure. Certain several seconds delay between the inputs and the one that I basically see. So yeah, and beside that, the FPS or the frame rates are also not that smooth, because yeah, maybe the HDMI video capture is not that good, because I basically bought the cheapest HDMI video capture that was available there, which is basically imported directly from China. And yeah, maybe it used to be able to have the input of 60 FPS, but if you talk about the recording, it's still basically for around 24 FPS, I guess. I'm not sure. So if you talk about the graphic quality of this game, is also cannot match even the mobile games for some reason. Maybe because there are several unique features that they try to make, but yeah, they try to keep with the mobile game size as well. So that's the reason why its graphic quality is not that good, especially when you see the tail lights of the cars. Man, it's just so bad. It's even worse than the open world games that basically not focus on cars. Yeah, such as the Grand Theft Auto Online is definitely better. So I lose the race, and it's basically very short race. So I just don't get it. Why? Maybe because in order to create the full race, so they basically need the big map. So maybe it's just not available on the game. So it's just pretty weird. It's more like just a testing or simulation, literally. So the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remaster is definitely way much bigger than these games. But yeah, it's just basically pretty basic in terms of the features. So there's no unique features that you basically can do in terms of the personalization. So yeah, that's the reason why I basically prefer to do this game. But especially right now when I already got my dream gadget. basically can race with the slowest car, or the one that basically got when you're first when in the prologue. So yeah, in order to complete the game, easy is difficulty. So it's just pretty weird, but yeah, it's make the game a little bit interesting for some reason. If you try to do it on console and you just have no way to do with the trainer or things that basically make you have a lot more money. Yeah, I'm pretty tired because I need to wake up quite early in the morning in order to get my booster vaccine, which is the second booster. So it is already my fourth vaccination shot for the pandemic disease, which is basically no longer related to most people, because most people already tried forgot about it, because yeah, they already think the world is already going to normal life again. So I'm just not sure what will basically happen in the future. So we just wait and see, because I think I used to mention it once previously about the Last of Us movie, which is the second episode that basically tried to make Indonesia, especially Jakarta, as the ground zero of the viral threat. So yeah, it's basically pretty scary, to be honest. Just like what I used to see about the infection, because yeah, it's more disturbing rather than any of the other zombie movies such as the World War Z or even the Red. Basically, yeah, I thought it was basically a deleted scene, but it turned out it's basically not. And they also try to keep the language There is also Ford Focus RS and the BMW M1 or M2, I'm not sure. It was basically an old games release on the early times of the Nintendo Switch, so probably it was actually already developed before as well, I'm not sure. So that's the reason why the camera SS is still pretty much the one that basically what's the code name for the engine. But yeah, it's definitely still below the camera ZL1, which is the fastest version of the camera and also the better looking one as well. So there are still so many races. Yeah, just don't know, the game seems to be pretty static. Or maybe because I didn't have an infinite money trainer. Because if I got the infinite money, maybe I got a little bit addicted to this game. So yeah,